Live from Southern California, this is the Jim Rome Show.
Welcome to the jungle. I am Jim Rome. A tremendous Thursday to you. We've got so much show for you today. Let's not waste any time. The program is presented by FanDuel. Speaking of FanDuel, we will have our FanDuel Predict segment like we do every single Thursday. James Kelly, top of hour number 2, and he is locked and he is loaded. He's got all sorts of action for us. So that's coming up at 1 p.m. thanks to our pals at FanDuel.
And loaded!
There you go. Hey, Webb. Webb, you're always locked and loaded. Have you seen his X
Straight
feed?
cash homie for Marshall.
Trust me, my man is locked and loaded, B Webb. Let me tell you, that X feed is not only straight fire, it is straight cash, homie.
Straight cash homie.
All right, so here's what we're looking at. A loaded Thursday. You already know what's at the top of hour number 2. James Kelly, FanDuel Predicts. Coming up at 12:40, Tyler Dunn. He is the founder of Go Long Football, and he's got a long-form piece on Kyler Murray, which is awesome. I want to talk to him about that. Coming up at 1:40, so I'm jumping around right now. 12:40, Tyler Dunn. 1 o'clock, James Kelly. 1:40, former NFLer Robert Turbin joins us. We'll talk some ball with him. Top of hour number 3, What's Your Beef? A beef segment on a Thursday, so you can beef about anything you want, except for those 2 things that you know you're not allowed to. If you're watching on the stream right now, lower left, as I'm looking at it, a reminder to go to our YouTube channel. Go to our YouTube channel, jump up in chat. While you're there, if you don't mind, hit subscribe, then ring that bell. And then we're good. Telephone number is 1-800-636-8686. We are on X still. Follow me at Jim Rome. Post there. We do take your email still. Rome, R-O-M-E, @habitate.com. And we are on YouTube. Get in the chat. Super chat. Become, if you don't mind, a treasured member. Valued member. For a nominal fee. Also, if you're looking for other ways to watch the program, you can watch it on Amazon Prime, Roku, TCL, DirecTV, Plex, Samsung TV Plus, Vizio, and LG. That's my opening wrap. All right, so first things first. You know, I always say this, but you know how when something seems too good to be true, it generally is? Well, I was really hoping that that would not be the case with Jayden Daniels, but I will admit that rookie season with the Commanders was a little too good to be true. He himself, a little too good to be true. And that whole sudden one-year franchise turnaround that the Commanders pulled off seemed a little too good to be true. The sudden amazing vibes emanating from that franchise and that fan base for the first time in, I don't know, decades, also seemed a little too good to be true. Well, then, of course, it all came crashing back to earth last season when he got hurt and the Commanders went 5-12. And the good vibes have taken yet another big ding today with this nutty cease and desist that Daniels fired off to his alma mater,
Ding.
LSU. Desist. Go ahead, Albie. Ding.
Ding.
Cease and desist. So, yes, they sent that along with a statement released through a spokesman that describes Daniels as, quote, profoundly disrespected, end quote, by LSU's decision to give his old number 5 to a current player. And as a result, Daniels has issued a cease and desist, which says LSU can no longer use his name, image, and likeness. Overreaction much? Butthurt much? My dude, you're a franchise QB in the NFL, yet you feel profoundly disrespected? that some kid at LSU is going to wear your number this fall. You feel profoundly disrespected. I find this whole thing profoundly lame. And judging from the reactions on most of social media today, I am far from the only one. It gets even lamer, though, when you see more of the statement that he put out. Quote, "The Daniels family is deeply disappointed and feels profoundly disrespected by LSU's decision to give Jaden's number to another player. Jaden and his family had every reason to believe that his number would remain a meaningful part of his LSU legacy and would be honored and protected in recognition of his extraordinary contributions to the university." End of quote. What does the Daniels family have to do with anything at all? Why is the Daniels family speaking for Jaden? Jaden's family should not be issuing any statements on behalf of Jaden unless Jaden has died. Is Jaden dead? That's when your family issues statements about you. Otherwise, you would issue your own statement. Families react in response to something tragic happening to the individual. Is he dead? Or is Jaden's family playing offensive line?
That was tragic.
Then why are they a part of this at all? You're the face of an NFL franchise. You're a professional. Stand on your own damn business. Speak for yourself. Or did your mom/agent write and hit send on this quote statement?
Your mom.
My dude, if you have a problem, you have to own it and not hide behind your family. And if your family has a problem, tell them you'll ask them for their opinion when you want it, because you have way more important things to concern yourself with right now than this nonsense. Unless you really are this butthurt by this, and then you, my dude, are the problem. Because right now, the only person wearing any of this is you, Jaden. To the internet, you are the one being viewed as profoundly butthurt. Profoundly disrespected. More like profoundly damaging your reputation. More like profoundly eye-opening into who and what you really are. And profoundly short-sighted too. My dude, trying to burn that bridge with LSU makes no sense whatsoever. That is a community that would have your back for life. It's one of the best communities in the country to have backing for your life. And this dude wants to throw all that away because he's so profoundly butthurt that a cornerback is going to wear his number? I mean, it's so lame, it's hard to believe. Although it is pretty funny that it's a cornerback that gets that number, not even a quarterback. Imagine how much better it would have been and how much more amusing it would have been if it had been the punter. So, how did this all happen? How did DJ Pickett, a nice player, by the way, how did he wind up with that number 5? Well, there are plenty of people that want to blame Lane Kiffin, of course. But it's more complicated than that, actually. Because actually, it was Brian Kelly who promised that kid that number. Lane is only honoring that promise, as Lane himself explained last week.
DJ is in 5, and that was a situation that was promised to him in recruiting here for him to sign here. And I've done a lot of research on that with the family and the representatives and the people. And so really, I didn't have a decision to make. It was promised to the kid. It wasn't done for whatever. I'm not going to get into that. I'm not going to judge something that I wasn't here of. But when a kid's promised something to come to school, he should wear it. And so at that point, I don't really think that's my decision. You know, it should be honored what he was told. And so he's wearing it.
Thing about that is, you know, it's easy to say, come on, man. It's Lane Kiffin. We don't believe. Are your lips moving? Then we don't believe you. Who believes anything Lane Kiffin says anymore? But I believe him. You know why I believe him? Because speaking of family, BK has confirmed it, which is pretty funny because BK is also saying that he was not going to honor his own promise. This bleep is so convoluted. Here's what BK told ESPN about the situation. He did promise the number during the recruiting process. However, quote, I just wasn't prepared to do it until we got a full commitment from another Heisman Trophy winner. We didn't want to issue number 9, worn by Joe Burrow, so you can't treat one differently from the other. End of quote. I mean, it's so BK, right? So why did you promise the number then if you weren't prepared to issue the number? You can't promise it to a recruit if you're not prepared to issue it to that recruit. So BK promised the kid the number, but wasn't actually going to give it to him? Nothing slimy about that. Lane didn't promise the kid anything, but ended up honoring a promise that was made by somebody else who wasn't going to keep that promise. Not at all convoluted. This isn't actually about the cornerback, though, if you ask me. I mean, in part. But you know what it feels like? It feels like it's about Joe Burrow. And even a little bit about Billy Cannon. Because those are the other 2 Heisman winners in LSU history. And neither of their numbers have been issued since. However, there is a key distinction here. Both Burrow and Cannon also won the Natty. Neither Joe Burrow nor Billy Cannon ended their LSU careers in the ReliaQuest Bowl. And get this, Jayden Daniels didn't even play in the ReliaQuest Bowl. He sat it out. Listen, Jayden, very, very, very good player, but he's not Joe Burrow. And nobody down the bayou seems confused about that either. As far as I can tell, everyone around Baton Rouge is saying pretty much the same thing. We like you, dude, but you're not Joe Burrow. And you know why they're saying that? Because he's not Joe Burrow. But he certainly is butthurt. He is that. Case in point, he's reportedly also looking, this is wild to me, he's trying to get LSU to return their copy of his Heisman Trophy, which doesn't even make sense. And why not just show up on campus? It doesn't make any sense. With a blowtorch and just burn the entire place to the ground. I can't believe the amount of energy, my guy, that you are wasting on all of this. Instead of being fully immersed on a make or break NFL season, you have infected your own brain with all this nonsense. None of this makes sense, including this part of a Daniels statement. Quote, Jayden made it clear that he did not want his number given to another player, and he believed his wishes would be respected. End of quote. Broham, you cannot retire your own number. That's not how that works. Maybe at Colorado, but nowhere else. It's always an uphill battle to complain that you're not being honored enough. It's always a tough optic to make demands that you really have no right to make. And unfortunately, this is why this guy's getting annihilated by essentially everybody right now. Look, I get that you feel disrespected. I get that the other 2 Heisman winners never had to see anybody else wear their jersey. But is it really that important? Is it really the hill that you want to die on? Is it really worth burning down your bridge back to Baton Rouge? It's actually too late, right? Because you've already dug your grave with that profoundly butthurt statement. You know how tough it is to make Lane Kiffin seem like the reasonable one? Bad read, bro. That's like splitting the numbers of the defender in the ReliaQuest Bowl that you sat out and having him house it to win that game. Not only is that not the hill to die on, but you dug yourself a nice shallow grave right there, so go ahead and lie in it. Because if you're lucky, time will heal this wound, this misstep, if you're lucky. And even then, it's going to take a hell of a long time. It really is. And of course, He knows this. He probably opened up his phone because the damage control or his attempt to control the damage has already started. Here is his latest statement released on IG in the last hour. Quote, I have been locked in on training camp, and that's been my number one focus. I have a lot of gratitude for my time at LSU. I'm proud of what my teammates and I accomplished there. Obviously, there are issues to be worked out between my team and LSU, and my hope is that it will get done privately. My sole personal focus is on Commanders football. I realize the business of football is unique, and I trust this can all be resolved. Wow, bro. Doesn't sound very sincere at all. Sounds butthurt still. I mean, not even a good job of damage control. Like, we still have issues. But I am focused on the Commanders. Just know that. Like, that didn't help. That didn't make it better. I'm not sure how much that's controlling the damage. You just had to clarify that you're more focused on your job as the franchise quarterback of the Commanders than that utter nonsense. You had to say that? And even then, it wasn't convincing. I'm not even convinced. I'm not convinced that you're more focused on that. I got a lot more energy coming out of your family team and those statements about what's going on back there and that number and how profoundly disrespected you felt than that statement right there. Honestly, I felt a lot more energy about how you had been so disrespected than that energy in that IG post in the last hour. Wow. Hope that was worth it. And I know it wasn't. If it seems too good to be true, then it's probably too good to be true. Bad read. Bad read. 5-12 last year, dude. You missed a lot of action. This is a really important year for you and everybody else with the Commanders. Why are you doing this? Why is that the fight to fight? Right now, right ahead of the start of the NFL season, a really critical NFL season, and you're worried about who's rocking your number back in college? Bad read. 1-800-636-8686. And listen, I know we have listeners down there. Any thoughts? I want to hear from Baton Rouge. We're actually anywhere down there. Any LSU fan, what do you make of this? What's your reaction to this? Hey, Commander fans, anybody in the district? Anybody in D.C.? Anybody in Maryland? Anybody in VA? Is his head in the right place? What do you think seeing that? It's just bad all the way around. Man, you know who can't escape any of this stuff? I'll give you a hint. He's big on family. Even BK is still in the middle of this bleep.
Family.
Too much.
Family.
Hey, the one thing Lane's got to be like, hey, man, this is one thing you can't hang on me. This is the one thing you cannot hang on me. And yet Lane's up there having to answer to promises that BK made. 1-800-636-8686. Or by now, I'm starting to realize you're just more comfortable being up in chat. So get into the chat. But I do want some phone calls later on for What's Your Beef. I'll tell you what, suddenly Jaden is making Brandon Ayuk seem a little bit less out of his mind. Just slightly. No, one of those two dudes were tight.
It's dumb.
No, one of those two dudes were so tight. Except we knew this about Ayuk. I didn't know that Jaden was that far out there. I'm sure the LSU family knew.
Family.
BK knew. Man, I love that part about BK. Yeah, you can have that number in recruiting. Yeah, I don't know if I can give you that number because we have a precedent here. I have to check with another Heisman Trophy winner. Yeah, but dude, you just said he could have the number. Anyway, Jaden, that does not clear you. I'm not putting this on BK. I'm just saying it's sort of kind of partly BK's fault. But then again, everything in the world is sort of kind of partly BK's fault, right? In addition to that, there are more things that I want to cover. Oh, no. Not another edition. Not another edition to Moob Rushmore. It's been a lot of talk about moobs in the jungle. Personally, I'm not into discussing man boobs. But it's almost like I can't not talk about the moobs. Because there's another star who's getting dragged into the moob family. I'm not sure if it's fair or not, but I will talk about it. Dodger haters, man, you almost had yourselves a day. Almost had a day when Freddie Freeman almost went Brazilian soccer player and nearly plunged to his death in the dugout. You Dodger haters were about to stand over him, weren't you? That actually was a really scary moment. I'm always surprised that doesn't happen more often, especially in the opposing dugout. I mean, I understand why, but I didn't see any Royals spotting him or giving him any help whatsoever. Next thing you know, Freddie is on his head. Luckily, he emerged. He emerged triumphantly and alive, but that was a scary moment. We've got a lot more to get to as well. So I've got Tyler Dunn. I've got James Kelly with our FanDuel Predict segment. I've got former NFLer Robert Turbin. I've got What's Your Beef? Got a lot of show for you today. Baseball fans, do you think you know who's hitting a homer today? Well, FanDuel is giving you a free chance to call your shot with daily dingers. Joining the action is easy. Just make your free pick on who's hitting a home run in their game. And if you're right, you'll get a profit boost to use on your next bet for a chance at extra winnings. You've got nothing to lose. You've got a ton to gain. And don't forget, you can make a free pick every day during the MLB season. Just like every single day I'm in that app. Today, later on, top of the hour, James Kelly joins me, and we go into that app. Back to this, though. It's another reason why FanDuel is the home for home runs. So, are you ready to play your game today? Join all the action at FanDuel.com/Rome, FanDuel.com/Rome, and play daily dingers. Make your free pick on who's hitting a homer, play ball, and swing for the fences on FanDuel, an official partner of the MLB.
21 plus, select states. For Kansas, in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. 18 plus, D.C., Kentucky, Wyoming. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. Call 1-888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org/chat, Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org, Maryland. Visit gamblinghelpline, ma.org. Call 800-327-5050, Massachusetts. Call 1-8778-HOPE-NY. Text HOPE-NY, New York. Call 1-8777-867, Louisiana.
You're listening to The Jim Rome Show.
Well, I'm here.
Here we are.
Just looking at something that was posted on X by at the Rams Wire. Puka Nacua was left bleeding from his face after running into a glass door at a party hosted by Fanatics founder Michael Rubin. Yeah, that's not good. My man, I thought... See, I want to say that'll happen. That will happen. I don't know whether or not he was indulging. I don't know whether or not he was imbibing. I don't know whether or not he was running his route tree inside Michael Rubin's home. I don't know any of the above. I just know, given the summer that he had, the work that he allegedly had done on himself, the fact that he had gone into rehab, had done some internal work, that's not good. Running into a glass door is never good. But especially if you're that guy. I know somebody who did that once and never had a drink ever again. I'm not saying that he was drinking. But it's kind of like I remember when I was a little kid, we had sliding glass doors. And I remember when my parents slapped like the little butterfly decals on the doors. Because you're a little kid. And they don't want you walking into a glass door because you're a little kid. But an NFL wide receiver should not be bleeding from his face after running into a glass door at a party.
Shoot the glass.
I told you once I was in that club in London. And I don't remember what the club was, but I remember it had this wall that was a mirror. I mean, for the life of me, I never understood this. I'm still waiting for an explanation. If you're in a dark club and you're looking into a mirror, you're seeing everybody behind you, but if you've had too much to drink, you think you're walking into the crowd. People were walking right into the mirror. Of course. Like, what is that other than a lawsuit waiting to happen? Anyway, that's... I don't want to overreact to that, but certainly that's not a positive development if you're Puka Nacua. Puka, we don't want to see things like that. I know the Rams don't, given all the problems you had off the field. And you came back and said all the right things, and you're still running through glass doors at parties, allegedly. But some reaction really quickly before I have my first guest. First up in the chat, Glenn, Echo Phantoms. Jayden Daniels jump the shark moment. You know, it's a bad moment if you ask me, but I don't think that was the jump the shark moment. You know, Russ, the other thing that didn't do him any favors, the quarterback show on Netflix. He was not getting rave reviews for that either. Fonz. He also did not come off well on that either. Billy Webb, 9388, quote, I thought Caleb was the mama's boy. Caleb's just fine. YOP, don't drag him into it. He had nothing to do with it. YOP 3194. I'm glad this guy's saying this. I'm not defending Jayden. I believe this is more his mom. All right, number one, you're defending Jayden. Number two.
Your mom.
Number two, Jayden's got to take control of his career. Jayden has to take control of his brand. You know, mom might be heavily involved. Mom might be helping to run the business, but it's on him. He needs to get control. Obviously, she's involved. How do I know she's involved? Because the statement says the Daniels family. And why does the family have anything to do with this? As I said,
Family.
Families issue statements when individuals have something tragic happen and can no longer speak for themselves, or at least in that moment. Why is the family speaking on his behalf? Dude, you're an NFL franchise quarterback, a Heisman winning quarterback, a formerly great college quarterback. Why is your family speaking on behalf of you, man? Like I said, stand on your own business. But no, I'm not going to say that it's not on him. Like, he has to own this. He is accountable for it. He's responsible for it. You can't put this on mommy. Now, if he wants to create a little separation between him and his mom because the optics are not good, the narrative's not good, so be it. I mean, obviously she's involved, or the family would not be issuing statements. What does that mean? The family. Which members of the family? The only members of the family that we know that are intimately involved in his career is mommy. I've never understood why family members are speaking on behalf of professional athletes at that level. You have to have a talk with your family members and say, hey, listen, stay down. Be it wife, mom, dad, anybody who brings any distraction to it. But again, ultimately, the buck stops with him. He's the guy. He's the guy, and you can't put it on her, no matter how much influence she has on him. And if she has that much influence on him, that's up to him to take care of that. So it does not become a distraction. But again, even that statement that he made after the fact in the last hour, not very convincing. All right, when we come back, Tyler Dunne joins me. Stay tuned. That's coming up next.
You're listening to The Jim Rome Show.
Such good days, so much good stuff to cover. Welcome back. I am Jim Rome. All right, if you're on hold, stay there. If you're in the chat, keep doing what you're doing. Right now, though, we are joined by the founder of Go Long. It's a home for long-form journalism. It's available on Substack and at golongtd.com. He is also host of the Go Long podcast. Also covered the NFL for Bleacher Report, the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel, and the Buffalo News. I'm talking about Tyler Dunne. Tyler, always awesome to see you. Bro, is it your birthday today?
It is. It is.
Happy
the big
birthday,
3-9,
dude.
my man.
All right,
I
dude.
appreciate that. Very nice of you.
Good for you, man. Happy birthday. Appreciate you coming on the show, and we can celebrate that. Listen, you have a great piece up right now on Kyler Murray, and I want to say a two-part piece. I want to say I've always found him to be one of the most riveting guys in the NFL because of his exceptional athletic ability. You write in the piece, I'm jumping right into it, that he is the league's most enigmatic quarterback. Why is he the league's most enigmatic quarterback?
Man, he is a one-of-one tornado, isn't he, Jim? I mean, this is somebody who never lost a high school game, is the Heisman Trophy winner, the #1 pick, gets the big contract. I love how Chase Edmonds put it. This is the first time that Kyler Murray has been knocked on his ass. This is his first real bout of adversity. So it's fascinating, right? And I feel like in so many ways, he has been misunderstood. I use the word enigmatic because, look, you hear Kyler Murray, you probably go right to video games, you go right to the homework clause, you think of these certain things, but when you really dig into it, when you talk to sources in Arizona and you really see how much of a mess, how dysfunctional that organization is, and you see that they drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. over Malik Neighbors, we could go on, and then you really understand the best way to coach Kyler Murray. That's probably what stood out to me the most, Jim. Talking to coaches in Arizona, they insist that if Minnesota wants to get the absolute most out of this guy, you got to get in his face. You got to let the F-bombs fly. You have to say, mother effer, throw the ball. Throw it, because he's going to bark. He's going to bite. You got to bark. You got to bite. And he loves that competitiveness, right? And I think that's where he's just a little misunderstood, is if he doesn't have that, he'll get bored. That's the way like an Autry Denson, the running backs coach, put it in Arizona. So if it's intense there in Minnesota, I think that these two parties find solutions, and I think this works. I would not be surprised if it's a laser show out there in Minneapolis this season.
Tyler Dunne joining us. There's so much really good stuff to unpack in what you just said. And let me ask you something, because he's not a guy that does a lot of interviews, and you went long form. He doesn't really open himself up. He keeps that circle of trust really tight. I think I've only interviewed him once or maybe twice. So let me ask you this. What's it like to get up inside that guy's head and crawl around a little bit?
That's a great question, because it's hard to find people who are close to Kyler Murray. You know, Chase Edmonds is one. Jordan Hogan is another. He was in that quarterback's room in Arizona, and he's a really interesting person to talk to because he was also on the Kyle Shanahan staff, so he's familiar with the West Coast offense and has a good idea how this is all going to work. That's in part two. But yeah, he is very guarded, and I think what's important to understand is really it's almost like a childhood actor, right? I can't relate to that, where you're destined for superstardom at a really young age. He's going to star in the MLB. He's going to star in the NFL. He's going to do whatever he wants. So his life has been very regimented. There's a ton of nature, a ton of nurture. And, you know, I don't think that Kyler Murray is somebody who goes out. Like, he's not out on the town partying and drinking. So, yeah, he likes to play video games, but he's also FaceTiming his quarterback's coach in Arizona at 10:30 at night to talk about something he saw on film. So, yeah, it's difficult to really get to know him. And I'd imagine that's probably something he's going to have to work on in a new locker room, ingratiating yourself to teammates to the point where maybe you are hoisted on shoulders after a win over a division rival like Sam Darnold was. So that's really the key now is, okay, you've got the opportunity, you've got the coaching, you've got the talent, you've got everything that Sam Darnold had before you. Now you've got to work like a Sam Darnold. And, you know, I keep coming back to this quote from Harrison Smith. We talked back during Super Bowl week about Sam Darnold, and I thought he put it best. He's like, everyone acts like you're either the worst or you're the GOAT. All the dumbass bleep that people will just come up with. I think Sam is a good example of a guy that just goes to work and he doesn't make too big of a deal about anything. Like good old-fashioned hard work, right? You can correct what ails you with the grind, with the hard work. And I feel like if Kyler Murray can look in the mirror and do that sort of stuff, there's no reason he can't have a similar scene in December, with their a cappella singing 50 Cent's Many Men in there after that win.
Tyler Dunne joining us. Look, I've always loved the guy. I've always been a big fan of the guy. Not everything he's done, but again, athletically, it's a joke. If the guy went first overall and was taken 9th in the Major League Baseball draft just as like a joke, for bleeps and giggles, as you put in the column, the guy athletically is insane. But there was a reason why he was available. And to your point, part of this is Arizona. There's a lot of dysfunction going on there. Let me ask you something. Does he seem at times apathetic to you?
That was a word that I used to one of the coaches on the Arizona staff, apathetic, aloof. And, he was critical of Kyler Murray. He even said that some of his personality traits, quote unquote, aren't conducive to winning. But he said, no, it's not that at all. It is a matter of really taking that intensity level to a different degree. He needs that. Like he needs you to get in his face. And so, yeah, I do think he's been in the league almost a decade now. I don't think it will be a problem for him to connect with different players inside that locker room because at the end of the day, Jim, it's about winning. Let's face it. If he's in there and he's the starting quarterback and he's throwing darts to Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson and they're competing for a championship, guys are going to love him. You know what I mean? Like JJ McCarthy seemed to kind of have all that other stuff, that type A personality, the 9 meme, all that, right? He's in your face. Jim Harbaugh's really waxing poetic about the galvanizing effect that he can have on your locker room, but he hasn't been able to play the quarterback position. All right, I talked to a teammate who said he knew things were going to go south into that 2024 season as early as OTAs because they're in 7-on-7. There's no blitzing. It's pop a shot for these quarterbacks in that drill. And he's working to his 7th read, and it never got better. So they went into that season thinking, okay, we got the rookie quarterback contract. We paid all these veterans. Let's go for it. He was arguably the worst quarterback in football. And there's a lot of the other nonsense. The press conference on the 9 personality is just strange if you're struggling, and the gritty when he's told not to do that the week of practice, and then covering the hand with a towel. Some teammates were wondering why he was doing that the last game of the year. But more than anything, I think that he didn't necessarily take the coaching of Kevin O'Connell the way Sam Darnold took the coaching the year before. And look, he's got time. This isn't the end for J.J. McCarthy. Matt Hasselbeck put it best. He was in his shoes when Trent Dilfer got the job over him and got the contract. So it's on J.J. McCarthy to kind of work on what he's struggled with. But I think that at the end of the day, dude, if you can play quarterback and you're throwing touchdowns, people want to be your friend.
In addition to all that, let's not forget about that cringy explanation about him and Kyler in the classroom with one guy on one side and the other guy on the other side. Like, bro, this is not 11th grade biology. Also cringy. Tyler, I always say this, give me an A or give me an F. Give me an A or give me an F. You write in the comments, this is either going to go really, really well or really, really badly. Ultimately, do you think that Kyler is the guy who is going to lead them where they need to go?
I think so. I really think he is. I trust in Kevin O'Connell. I still think that Kevin O'Connell is one of the best teachers of the position in the NFL. I mean, you hear it repeatedly from other coaches, from other players, everybody who has been around this guy. Look, it was a miscalculation. He wanted to draft a quarterback and mold that quarterback. Frankly, I think a lot of the Viking fans wanted that, right? They see in Green Bay, Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. Why can't we have that? Right, why are we going through the Sam Bradfords and Brett Favre at his age, veteran after veteran? Hell, go back to Jeff George and Randall Cunningham. They wanted to draft somebody and do it the old-fashioned way. It didn't work out, and that's okay. So I give him a lot of credit for, okay, swallowing your pride to an extent, bringing in a quarterback who on paper doesn't make any sense for a West Coast offense, right? Kyler Murray he's that artist coloring outside of the lines. He's improvising. He's creating. That's when he's really been at his best. But it's a challenge that I believe this coach, this coaching staff, this team, they want to take on. Take the risk. See if you can somehow work on those launch points and get that wide zone run working so you do have those big plays down the field. And the way it's broken down to me is he'll be able to see just fine in this offense. I'm not worried about that. And I think more than anything, Jim, it's a human game. We spend 7 months obsessing over freaking all 22 and X's and O's. At the end of the day, Kyler Murray is hungry as hell. That's what everybody close to him says. He knows what people are saying about him, regardless of what he says. He has every financial reason to have the season of his life. Hell, if he has a great year, maybe he makes $50 million a year, gets that kind of contract, and his legacy's on the line. And oh, by the way, Kevin O'Connell, I don't know if his seat's hot, but I would say it's heating up. He has every incentive to make this work, and you got the best wide receiver in football. Bring that intensity level up too. However you look at this, I just feel like the pieces jigsaw together in a way where Minnesota could shock a lot of people. They do have some depth concerns. Let's get into the nitty gritty. They still have a core group of players on both sides of the ball to really make some noise this year.
No, I think so too. The second that went down, I started to smash Kyler Murray for MVP because I saw the bet. The number was 4,000. I'm like, bam. I kept smashing that until they said, you have reached your limit. I'm like, what do you mean I've reached my limit? You don't want my money? Normally, you're more than happy to take my money. So, Tyler, really quickly, much respect to you. You've done something. Our entire business has changed dramatically. Like, I've taken over the radio program. I pay to keep these lights on. You have bet on yourself. Really quickly, where can our listeners and our viewers go to find Go Long and see this piece and others? And how do they subscribe?
I really appreciate that, man. Yep, golongtd.com is the site. It's also on Substack. The Substack app is a great way to read and listen to all of our shows. And yeah, frankly, that's it, man. I've covered the NFL for 16, 17 years, and I just try to talk to as many players and coaches and scouts and execs around the league all year long to bring people as close as possible to this game. Because I just feel like, through all the poll-tested press conferences and the sanitized, team-oriented coverage out there, the real and the raw kind of gets lost in the equation. So would love it if people wanted to subscribe. You'll never see an ad. You'll never see a sponsor. We're completely independent, powered by the people.
I love that. And long-form journalism still exists. It's hard to find, but it does still exist. Tyler, my man, great job. Happy birthday, brother. Always good to have you on the show. We'll do it again soon.
Any day, anytime, my man. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you. Tyler Dunne. Go find that. It's a really good piece. Really good piece. Go subscribe. Go Long. He's got the podcast. It's a home for long-form journalism. GoLongTD.com. And that is a great piece. He's a great journo. All right, when we come back, just like that. See, that's what I mean about Thursdays. We get going. Hour number 1's done. Hour number 3, the beef segment. Also still ahead, James Kelly. FanDuel Predicts. That's coming up next segment. Also next hour, Robert Turbin, Super Bowl winner and former NFLer. So a lot of show and not a lot of time to get to. And an update on Mount Boobmore. Move more. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We are into hour number 2, or good afternoon, wherever you are. I am Jim Rome. I'm in Southern California. Great to have you here. What I was just doing, and as you know, the show is presented by FanDuel. What I was just doing was opening up my FanDuel Predicts app because we are about to get down with some action. So I don't want to waste any time. You know where to find me. The chat is wild today. I know so because people are saying so. Really quickly. This guy, Greg in Green Bay, Rome, holy bleep, hopped on the chat at YouTube. My man, we need Nitsa to do a I can tell when you post hi ad campaign. Even for the internet, there is some pretty wild stuff going on in that chat. Well, I know. Go and find out for yourself. All right, because it is Thursday, it is time now for our FanDuel Predicts segment, and I bring in the head himself, James bleeping Kelly. We go to his studio. Oh, hey, Head. Dude, you
back in the barn.
You look almost as tan as Lane Kiffin. What's going on?
Dude, I got a lot of sun the last couple of weeks, man. Got out of the house a little bit, head up the mountains, and got some sun. Now it's football season.
Actual vitamin D or fake bake? Be real, dude.
No, actual vitamin D. I tan easy. It's great. Vitamin D all the way through.
Yeah, but dude, you got a lot of real estate. You got to cover that head, man.
I got burn on the head atop a little bit, but we won't take the hat off to show that part.
Don't do that. Don't do that. All right, so before we get into this, I know you have a ton of stuff right now. Before we get into this, is there any kind of editorial you want to get off your chest? Anything
I would like to make a run
about?
at Jaden Daniels. I'd make a run at Jaden Daniels. You're coming off a disastrous season. Your organization had a disastrous season, and you send a cease and desist letter to LSU, dude. Where is your head at? I am off that dude's bandwagon. Terrible look for him and his mom.
Okay, so you're off his bandwagon. What does that mean? He's not on the list. You're just off the bandwagon.
No, yeah, you got to be a leader, and your head's got to be in the right places. And something tells me he's not there. He's a freaking obviously a talented quarterback, real smart, but I'm just a little worried that he's more like, well, I don't want to go there. Maybe a different back in the day commander quarterback that won't make the necessary adjustments in the head to become great.
Bro,
yeah.
Did you just RG3 him?
No pressure, no diamonds, or whatever that is.
Okay.
I did.
Right. Yeah, I don't, not terribly unfair, although I do like Rob, but yeah, this is such a bad
worst
read.
Ever.
Bad read by Jaden. All right, we're on the same page. Where do we start, Head? There is so much action.
Dude.
Where do you want to start?
Well, this is fun because FanDuel Predicts is different than FanDuel are the books, right? Because you kind of play against peers here and you could sell. So we've been waiting for these numbers. We've got these numbers. It is time for NFL division picks, but we're going to do, as always, non-favorite picks, Jim. And we're going to do each single division in the entire NFL here. I'm ready when you are.
Well, you better start rolling. If you're going to hit every division in the
we're
NFL,
going to hit them all.
Let's get going.
Yep.
Hit it.
All right, let's do it the NFC West here. First off, how funny is this? Look at that number right there. They don't have a number for the Cardinals. Like we all know they're tanking their historic ass, and they won't even give you a number to play off. So I thought that was great. The Rams
That's bad,
are the
man.
favorite.
That's bad. You're not even on the board. You're not even in the league.
The only team in this entire thing without a number is the Arizona Cardinals. So really, really bad. So
I already know where you're going with this. There's no way you don't take the value on your beloved family.
Well, okay. So the Rams are the favorite for great reason, as we know. Legendary offseason by Les Snead. Like you said, the 49ers are my team. But you're giving me the defending Super Bowl champions who are returning a primary starter at all but 2 positions, a team that all but 5 players who played a snap in the dominating Super Bowl return. And yes, they lost Kenneth Walker, but they used their first-round pick on Jadarian Price. I'm actually going Seattle here, plus 234 over the banged-up 49ers.
What about their offensive coordinator? They lost him, too.
Yeah, I still think they got continuity. And remember,
and
Sam
you like
Darnold
that family, bro. You love that family.
Love that family. I do, but they're getting banged up. I don't know.
No.
I'm a little worried about
not that family, the Kubiak family.
I do love, yes, I absolutely do. But again, it's Sam Darnold's second season there, and he had success with Kubiak in his first season. So I got a lot of faith that he could work that thing out, and they've got talent around him, without a doubt.
Okay, so you're taking the Seahawks. All right, that's the NFC West. Interesting. Let's keep moving.
NFC East here. So this one changed a little bit. Coach Nick and the Eagles were the favorites actually here. The Cowboys now are the favorites. Yes.
Wow.
That's the team I wanted.
Is that insane?
That it is
Okay, so you're
insane.
mad.
But
You thought you were going to get some value.
I did.
And
I was
that's
pissed.
the team you wanted. And look who's the favorite.
That's absolutely the team I wanted is Dallas. I have a lot of faith in them this year. So who are we going to take? No chance we're riding with Jaden seasoned assist Daniels and the Commanders. So it's between the Giants and the Eagles. I like the Giants roster. But let's go Eagles here. They have a lot of key dudes who know they have to produce, namely Coach Paper, Rock, Scissors, Jalen Hurts, and Saquon Barkley. I expect their pride to kick in. Howie also brought in more weapons for Jalen to try and offset AJ's departure. He also countered Jalen Phillips' departure by trading for Jonathan Greenard, who will be a really good addition in the pass rush. Vic Fangio's D should be one of the best unit. Greenard? Did I say that wrong? Greenard?
Yeah, you said it wrong. I think
No
you meant
way.
Greenard.
Whatever. I know how he plays. He's a great pass rusher, and that'll help a lot.
I don't care if I got his name wrong. Who cares?
Eagles plus 156.
You know what? Look, I like that pick because Dallas, we know Dallas is better because greatest offense ever, right? Greatest offense there is. Gotti, there's that. Hey, Gotti, and then you had the worst defense ever, but the defense is better now. Hey, look, the Cowboys are better. They're more interesting, but I don't like them at that price at all. I'm with you. Let's say,
And you added Christian Walker.
Greenard and the Eagles at plus 156. All right.
Yeah, let's do it. All right.
Who else?
NFC North, Adam Ranks division.
Love
Let's
it,
just
love
say.
it, love it. I can't wait to hear this. Love this division.
Let's just say we're not taking Ranks Bears. The Lions are favored. I'm going big money.
Dude. Look at that number. Are you sure?
I know, but look at the number below him. I think Tyler Dunn made the entire argument for me. I don't even know why I need to talk.
Now I'm done.
I'm all about Kyler Murray here. I'm all about Kevin O'Connell, Brian Flores, Murray playing with J.J. Addison, John Jennings, Hawkinson, Aaron Jones, and of course, they got some meat from my guy Brian Flores to help with that run D, dude. And again, like he said, 9's not starting. It's going to lift. That's a powerful drug, dude. It's going to lift the entire locker room up. Plus 455. Got to go Minnesota
All
right
day long.
here.
I'm with you. I love that. I love that. That's Howard Dunn saying they knew. One vet knew when they saw him, when they saw 9 in his first 7-on-7, they knew right away we're screwed. Can you imagine?
I can't, but then you see him play and said, how did this guy get drafted in the first round? I mean, they couldn't even in college build an offense around him. They had to run the football. It's mind-boggling to me. I don't get it. Maybe that's why the guy got fired.
First round, not only drafted that highly, but drafted by that team and that coach.
I know.
I'm not saying the KOC is perfect. I'm just saying KOC would know.
Yeah, he signed off on it clearly,
He
right?
did. Clearly. I like that pick, though. Plus 455. Okay. I like Chicago at plus 316. I just love the division. I do too. Division.
Love it.
All right, let's go to the AFC. Who do you like?
One more. I got NFC South right now. I got
My bad.
The Bucs are favored here. The Saints are the second choice, and I think it's because of the hype of they call him Tyler Shuck, but it's really Tyler Shao. How do you get Shuck out of Shao? Makes no sense to me.
Bro,
anyways, the guy
you nailed one of the tougher names for you. Oh. Why would you backtrack and correct yourself?
Well, I don't know. There's no way that says Shuck, but they say he's Shuck. And Shuck, one turnover his last 4 starts. He looked really good down the stretch.
No, yeah, it's Shuck. It's definitely Shuck.
It's Shuck. Yeah, it's Shuck. And he's good, man. He looks really good. He also has Chris Olave on the outside.
Tonight, dude.
I'm getting shucked tonight.
Right. You're getting shucked tonight, Head.
Where's that get it right from? I'm going to have to use that a couple times, Alvin. Thank you for that. They drafted Jordan Tyson. Love that. They added Travis Etienne in the backfield, David Edwards on the line. Their defense, 9th in total D last season. It's a little misleading considering they're playing the NFC South, but let's go Shuck over the junior hire in Carolina, Bryce Young. Saints plus 244 here.
Interesting division. Interesting division. Mm-hmm. All right, now we can go to the AFC.
Now we could do that, yes. Let's talk on the AFC South here. Obviously, Nick the Clone's Texans are favored. Average quarterback play, they win it all. I think we're in agreement there. I'm not taking Bob Saleh's Titans, even with their $322 million they spent this offseason. I'm not taking Wonder Boy in Jacksonville, James Gladstone. I'm a little worried about his additions. Only a matter of time before I think Weird Liam goes at him. I'm going with the Colts. Love the decision in keeping Steichen and Ballard. Phillip is
What?
gone. Dimes is back. I think they made the right choice in prioritizing Alec Pierce over Pittman. Josh Downs, he is a difference maker. He's great. Tyler Warren and Jonathan Taylor are special players. The line.
Are you not
they
worried
returned
about
4 or
Pierce's health
5
at all?
guys. Yeah, I am a little bit, without a doubt. And if he is gone, it does hurt the offense to spread him over the top and certain things like that.
Dude,
But,
here's
dude, I
my
got a lot
question.
of
Do you
faith.
think that they're going to win the division, or do you just like the value better than what you get from Nick the Clone's Texans?
I think the Texans will win the division, but I like the value on the
Okay.
Colts better than Jacksonville, without a doubt. Yeah.
like that. I
But it
respect
comes
that.
down to a lot of your guy, Lou Anarumo's defense. They did draft well to help him out at the library, or the linebacker position.
Library.
That position right there.
Get
CJ
shucked
Allen.
tonight. Get shucked
Yeah.
tonight. Wow, dude.
AJ Halsey. I said that name right. Safety out of LSU. He can play
Congrats.
football. Yeah. Can they get pressure is a big question, but Indy,
You
don't
said
like the
Colts
number.
right, too. You got that one right. Colts. Way to
Plus
go, dude.
165 right
I'm just
there.
trying to
Jim.
build your confidence back up.
Yeah.
Colts.
Thank you,
good
sir.
one. Indy Colts. Good one. All right, so there's that.
AFC, yes.
AFC South. Where are you going
Yes.
next?
AFC West. This changed as well, dude. Check this number out.
Oh,
The Chiefs were favored. Denver is now. I was actually, despite all the Denver hate I get, I was actually going to go with them because I love the Jalen Waddle thing. So look at that number now. Kansas City is the second choice. It's really close between the top 3. We all know the Raiders will not win, but let's go with the Chargers.
Oh,
Yes.
Look at you, dude.
Jesse Minter is gone. That's a little scary for that defense, but they hired Western Michigan's DC to take over outside the box. But again, they returned their core on defense, so they should be good. They were top 5 last season, and my guy, Mike McDaniel, is there with Loverboy Justin Herbert.
It's real.
His tools and a healthy offensive line, greatness could happen in Los Angeles. I'm going Chargers, plus 212 right there.
Tommy and I were talking about that trifecta. Is there anything you find 2 guys that are super weird, but football
Yeah.
geniuses in Harbaugh and McDaniel, and I don't know which one loves the other one more. It's just bromance. It's like McDaniel's his kid, and he loves his dad, but his dad loves his kid. But then again, dad loves everything about everybody because he attacks every single day with an enthusiasm unknown to mankind. But then so does his illegitimate son. And then you got Herbert, who's like bros. He's got to be like bros. Can we just chill the hell out? I mean,
Dude, it is the awkward
it's
situation.
the
I just kept-
dynamic is just so odd, isn't it?
It is, but then I'm like, I think Herbert knows that Mike could unlock like MVP type level performance for him, and Weird Jim is just like, hey, let's just let it
They're all
roll
about
and go
running
off
the ball,
that.
right? They're all. That's the thing about your
Well, I think they
McVay, man.
will.
McVay, let's not get that twisted, man. He loves to run it too.
No offense.
No, he absolutely does.
It's a defense.
The best comparison I could go is back in the day with the Falcons with Matt Ryan and have a balanced attack with Herbert running that thing, but also being able to run the football. They are going to run the football, especially with those tackles, especially with Mike, especially with
And
Justin's
Hampton.
health.
And Omarion.
Yes. Oh, dude. Omarion, big time. The question is, the outside, can they produce? But, dude, as we know, McDaniel could scheme anything against those guys.
I got you. All right, so that's I like that pick. Interesting pick. Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so where are you going next?
AFC North, Baltimore is a top choice here, but look at Cleveland and the third choice over the salesman Mike McCarthy Steelers.
Wow.
What a middle finger to Pittsburgh from the fans
Yeah, it
here. That's
is.
crazy, right?
That is insane. That is
crazy.
hilarious.
I think so
Hey,
too.
Aaron, have some. That is
I
really
know.
funny to me.
I know. I think it's
Oh, I
really
love
funny
it.
too.
I love it.
Yeah. So obviously, I'm not taking.
Not even close. Dude,
yeah,
plus
no, not even
284,
close.
plus 400?
Dude, Cleveland moving all the way up
Could
with
you
them. It's
disrespect
wild.
the Steelers
Yeah.
any more than they are?
Cleveland.
Wow.
Oh. Awkward and weird for sure. But I'm all in, giving stale Zach Taylor one more shot here. We know about the quarterback's situation and the weapons Joe Burrow has. The line should be better this season than it has in a long time. He's got 5 starters in front of him back. And the defense, no one loves fat men who can wiggle more than I do, Jim. My sexy Dexy is now with my Joe Burrow. DC Al Golden, he's flirting with my top 5 ass list. I'm not a fan of the guy.
He's on the list already, though, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's on the list. I think he's on the list. Ass. That guy better coach him up. He's got a couple more offseason moves they made on defense to help him out.
Okay,
They
since we already
should
know
be.
your pick. We already know your pick. Give me the 4 above him. If he's flirting with top 5,
I gotta
who's
think about
above
that
him
one
on
right now.
your ass list?
Well, Terrell Austin is obviously above there, but Patrick, because I was just thinking about this division right here, and Patrick Graham takes over him. He's way better than him. Oh, dude, I
You
got
mean
a couple
terrible
other ones.
Austin. You always
Shane
glossed him.
Bowen.
Terrible Austin.
Terrible Austin. Yeah. Shane Bowen. Zach Orr's on the list.
The disdain with which you lay out this list is awesome.
I know. Al Golden needs to pull a Vance Joseph and get off the list. That's what he needs to do from a Cincinnati team here.
How did Vance ever get on that list, honestly?
Dude, remember when they scored 70 on him? That's when he was right on that
fair,
ass
fair.
list.
I got you. But you know what? The thing is, it shows that you are fair and objective. Guys
I'm
can
fair.
get off of the list once they're on the list because Vance got off the list, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
If you start coaching better, coach them up, you can get back off the ass list. No doubt
but
about
Al,
it.
let that be a warning. That's a warning shot right there.
Al Golden.
Al
Yeah.
Golden, you're about to get on James Kelly's ass list, and that's not a list
Yeah.
you can get off, but it's not a list you want to be on. Trust me. Trust me. All right.
Yes. You know who's not on my ass list, and it goes to the AFC East, is Leonhard Leonard. How do you say his name? He's one of my favorite coaches, Jim Leonard.
Dude,
It's
stop.
spelled like Leonhard.
Don't you dare put him on that
I
list.
love him.
Okay,
No,
good.
no, he's
I'm like,
not.
what are you
He's the
talking about?
opposite. He's
First
the
of all,
opposite. I love him.
Jim Leonard, dude.
Oh, I know, but it's not really spelled that way.
Stop
Get
it.
it
Stop
right.
it. You know Jim Leonard.
Oh, I know him. I love him. He's fantastic.
I thought for a minute, like, I was gonna say, head,
Dude,
I mean, a 4-letter bomb almost came out. Don't you dare put Jim Leonard on that ass
No!
list. Okay,
Dude,
it's
he's
just the
one
way
of
you
my
set that
best-
up. All right.
Minor league
he's one of my
mother.
best
That's what you are.
off-season additions
Love
by
him.
any coaching staff.
Love Jim
I don't
Leonard.
think Bean did a good job in helping him out, but I have so much faith in Jim that he's going to fix this problem.
Good.
I absolutely
Good.
love him. I love Buffalo this year, but they're the favorites here, so I can't take them. The easy choice would be to go to New England, but they are plus 168. You know, I'm going to go with the highest number on that list. Everybody's going to make fun of me. I made the argument last time I was on here for the Jets. The Patriots, dude, hangover for Super Bowl, Brusini scandal, locker room's a wreck. The year 2 of Aaron Glenn's run, that locker room's got to be on point. And then on paper, the Jets do have a roster. We can go through it all. We know it. They do have a roster. Come on, look at the number. The number is huge.
New York Jets.
Biggest number in the whole thing. Plus 2,400. If Gino's got a line that's better than he had in
Bro,
Las
if you like a
Vegas.
big number, why don't you just go minus 32, 34?
I know, right?
All right, so Jets plus 2,400. Why not?
Yes,
Why
big
not?
number.
Why
Yeah,
not?
love the roster.
It's like anything else. If you look at all the things we hit, if you hit that one big one, it covers everything else.
Dude, hits them all.
Let's go
Especially
Jets.
the Jets. Let's go
Jets. Jets. All right,
Dude.
so you have already usurped more real estate than you've ever been allowed, but I have room for a little bit more. What else you got, dude?
You want to bet tonight? Let's do some baseball.
I would love
dude.
to. Let's bet tonight,
Yeah.
man, for sure.
Our friends at FanDuel, the 2 best teams in the NL, according to them, no brainers. Brewers and Dodgers are playing right now.
I know it.
Yeah, it's going to be a good series. Can't wait for that one. Shane Drohan is starting for the Brewers. He's struggling late. 5 or more runs allowed in his last 2 of the last 3 starts. He walked 4 guys his last time out. For the Dodgers, Rokai, Sasaki.
Rokai, I love Rokai, man. That's my dude, Rokai.
Rokai, my dude. You know
I
who comes
love
after?
Rokai.
Hey, last 30
I really
days.
think Rokai is the key to the Dodgers. I think coming down the stretch,
Roki.
man.
1.88 ERAs last 30 days. That's huge for LA come playoff time. Last 15 days, though, Jim, the important number. Dodgers and Brewers. They rank 20th and 23rd in total runs scored. I'm going on the under 8.5 total runs here.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? I'm going to hit that right now.
We have a fist fight, too, this weekend. That'll be fun.
Yes, we do. With one of your favorite fighters.
Oh, dude, Islam.
You love Islam.
He is coming close to the greatest of all time conversation here. 16 straight victories. He has a chance to go 17.
You know what that tells me
That
you're gonna bundle that with something else. I know you're not.
We
playing.
have to.
You have to.
Too high of a number. We have to. Minus 370 for my guy Islam. You can give you points plus 135 or submission plus 220. Tough call there. Let's go points by Islam plus 135 action right now to beat Ian Gary on Saturday night.
Is there any way to put him with Rokai?
Rokai, we can do that. I like your thinking there. We can actually take the Dodgers, the Brewers, and then we'll just take Islam minus 370. It'll move that number, and you can do all that on FanDuel. So absolutely, we do that. Rokai and Islam, and don't make me say Islam's last name.
I was just going to say, you nailed Islam. Should I push my luck?
Dude, there's no way. And I know everything about the guy except for his name.
No, that's the funniest thing about UFC, that the names are really, really hard. And not just for you, but especially for you.
I can make an argument of why he's the GOAT, and I just can't get his name right.
Okay, really quickly, why is he the GOAT?
Get it right.
Dude, 16 straight victories. He's lost one. It was like his second fight in the UFC. He dominated one of the greatest divisions of all time, the 155 weight. He moved up, got a second belt at 170. He beat that guy. And then he's beat all the greats. He beat Volt twice, who's considered the 145
That is pretty wild.
Yeah. He's beat Oliveira. He's beat Poirier. He's beaten them all. Look, we all love Habib. That's his freaking guy, his coach, everything like that. But Islam's better than Habib, without a doubt. He's just done.
But do we know? I mean, I understand the argument you're making and the comparisons, but Habib never lost.
He never lost. Islam lost, got caught once. Everybody gets caught. But, dude, if you get out early, that holds against you. And Habib got out of the game early, obviously. And the other guy that we all know, John Jones, Islam has no skeletons in the closet per se of certain substances. So, dude, make it 17 straight here. He's on the way.
Well, you know what I like? It's good to see that Conor, who quit drinking to live that clean lifestyle and found the man above, is once again starting to drink in solidarity with Brad Pitt. What?
I know.
Great take, Conor.
I know. Great take, Conor. And this has got a little bit of
both
Ironman.
of you, but great take, Conor. I mean, Brad Pitt, congrats on being sober for 7 years. But, you're good because you can handle it now. Whatever, dude. That's your life. You make your choices. But Conor, I stand with Brad Pitt. I will drink again.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you look so good in your fight, Conor.
Exactly. We had to drink his whiskey watching him fight again. Might as well.
Bro, do we have any updated pictures of Patty?
Patty
the Batty.
Oh, my God.
I'm dying to know if he's gained any more weight since we last talked about him.
He's fighting heavyweight the last time I saw him, picture-wise.
I love Patty. We love Patty. We do not want this taken out of context. We love Patty. We love,
dude, one of my favorites of all time.
He'd be on. I'd have to include him in the move discussion if he eats any more. I bet.
Dude, you might have. That was what, 2 weeks ago when we talked about him. Dude, there's no way he's not 220.
And then he'll win a belt. Wait. Okay, dude, he's already started his weight cut.
What?
Or maybe he just looks thinner next to Big Dom.
What the hell is he doing?
What are you doing next to Dom, Patty? Come on,
man. Dude.
Patty, you are who you roll with, man. Gil Biden, come on, Patty.
All right, I'm taking the Giants instead of the Eagles. I forgot about Big Dom.
Has there ever been a picture taken that Big Dom did not show up in?
Dude, none. Ever. Ever. Unbelievable.
I think that's strategic. I think Patty's like, I'm tired of people calling me fat. I'm going to stand next to Big Dom.
Fat?
How did he get skinnier eating Philly food too? That's kind of odd.
Dude, I'm telling you, he looks like he started his weight cut already.
Yeah, he looks really good there.
He definitely looks thinner than the last time we saw him.
Yeah, big time. Way slimmer. I bet he's down to 185, 180 right there.
Going up and down like that, when you're younger, I get it, but that can't be easy, man. I know it's not healthy, but that can't be easy.
Long run, it'll never happen. I think he's like 30. Maybe two more weight cuts, I bet. 170 is coming.
Yeah.
Not that many.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right, Head. That was your record. That was like one of our old school podcasts. That was awesome.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Oops.
Right. No problem. Enjoyed it. Had a great time. Always had a great time, Head. Well done.
Thanks, Jim.
Great job. Get to our FanDuel Predicts app. Take advantage of the Head. You're all welcome for that bonus real estate that he got today. Have a great weekend, dude. I'll find you soon.
All right, Roki tonight. Let's do it.
Let's make some money.
Yeah, let's get down with Roki tonight. Roki, Rokester, the Head. Head's incredible. All right, when we come back, wow, went deep. But you know what? The Head's got that kind of knowledge. And that is our FanDuel Predicts segment. Are you ready to level up your skills and stand out in today's evolving workforce? At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can gain real-world skills in leadership, communication, critical thinking, and more. Explore programs that apply emerging tech like AI and data science. UMGC, an online and accredited state university, offers more than 100 skills-based degrees and certificates that can help move your career forward. Apply by September 1st and save with no application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu, umgc.edu.
You're listening to The Jim Rome Show.
Is Jason McCourty. Jason, always great to have you on the program. Thanks so much for making time for it. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing good. Always time to make time for you, Jim. Good to see you, man.
I appreciate you, dude. I mean that. Thank you very much for doing so. Listen, I want to talk to you about something that's going on with your work, but because there's breaking news, let me start right here. Not exactly a shocking development that Kyler Murray beat out J.J. McCarthy for the QB1 gig, but how do you like Murray's fit with KOC's system? And then secondarily, Jason, if they won 9 games last year with pretty poor quarterback play, what are your expectations for that team this year?
The expectations are so hard to put your finger on because I think, to your point, they won 9 games, and the quarterback position, as they went through multiple guys with the injury to J.J. McCarthy, just wasn't good, point blank, period. And the reason Kyler Murray is there because those guys, from Max Brosmer to Carson Wentz to J.J. McCarthy, that quarterback room is the exact same this year, except the addition of Kyler Murray. So I think if he can hit the ground running, pick up this system, be able to execute it at a high level, well, you're talking about a team that could potentially win that division. And you're talking about what they looked like 2 years ago when Sam Darnold came into that system and was able to take off. I think the fit of Kyler Murray is better than what people anticipate. I think when you look at Kyler Murray, I remember talking to Adam Thielen about this, and he said he had talked to Kevin O'Connell, and KOC said to him, I think a lot of people look at Kyler scrambling and some of the off-platform throws he makes and some of the off-schedule plays he's able to make with his legs, but majority of the game, he's dropping back and he's getting the ball out on time. So I think if he can be that point guard and distribute the ball to the weapons they have, this can be a really good football team. The most important job, if you're the quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings, find Justin Jefferson and throw him the damn ball. If you can do that, you will remain in the lineup. That one thing. Find Justin Jefferson and throw him the football.
My man, I feel like that's 75% of the job, right? And that's not that hard. Just look for that big dude. Get that big dude that ball. Jason McCourty joining us. Jason, it's because of analysis like that brings me to the next point. Congratulations are in order with the recent announcement that you're joining ESPN's Monday Night Countdown. It's a great gig, and to me, you've clearly earned that gig. How pumped are you for that op?
Man, it's such a cool opportunity. I think for me, as a football fan, I grew up as a kid. You watch Monday Night Countdown, Monday Night Football. You get excited about it. The primetime game, you're watching these two teams go at it. And I just feel like it's been the story of my professional career. I was in Tennessee for 8 years. I went to Cleveland. Then I joined the New England Patriots, and I joined a team that was already really good. I was an addition to the team, a nice added piece. I retired. I joined Good Morning Football, already a team that was assembled and was a well-operated machine. I was able to win an Emmy with NFL Live. Already a great show. I just joined the team. Now, Monday Night Countdown, same exact thing. SVP and the crew, Swagoo, Kelsey, and all of the guys, they're already do a phenomenal job. I just want to get in there, do what's asked of me, be a good teammate, be able to add my own flair and who I am to the show. So I'm so excited and fired up. The last 2 years, I've been calling games with CBS. So I've been in stadiums, I've been in production meetings, and I made the decision to not do that. So I was kind of bummed that I wouldn't still be in stadiums every week. So the fact that that's going to still occur and I'm going to get a chance to travel, I get a chance to get away from the wife and kids. Hopefully.
But thanks to the big head, James Kelly. You know what is really interesting? Because we are an operation where we're simulcasting, where we have our radio on Westwood One Sports, and then we have our radio on Sirius XM, and then we have our digital aspect where we stream. And we stream on YouTube, and we stream on the 8 other platforms on the Rome TV channel. There they are. Thank you very much if you're watching. What I like about this, during the breaks, we have a chance to run back some really good interviews that you may have missed. In part. Like, as an example, that last break, Jason McCourty. Man, that looked good. I love when we do that. I think that's so good. Like, I'm actually proud of us when we do that. I'm proud of the way it looks. I think that's great for consumption. I think it's awesome to play back that video and part of the interview that you may have missed the day before. It always looks good. I like that. I'm happy with that. I'm just basically giving the crew credit. I like the way that looks. Nice job, XCR. All right, so get ready for the beef segment. Phones are ringing already. I like it. 1-800-636-8686. We'll have that at the top of the hour. This is a short segment. This guy goes right to the front. It's a super chat. Jim, I heard Jake to Brooklyn soon. Any issues, contact me immediately. We got your back. Can't wait to see where he winds up on the NY media circuit. That's from John Inney, 3075. Bro. Oh, John in New York. My bad.
Hey, John.
Hey, John in New York.
Hey, John. Time to meet Mr. Rome.
Is that actually John in New York? The John. I just don't know if that's another John in New York. But yeah, John, my bad, dude. Chat's confusing, even to me sometimes. John Inney. No, bro, I definitely will take you up on that. Jake is going to Brooklyn. Jake's going to be there before the end of the month. And Jake's going there without a job per se. But he's been working it already, setting it up, networking. He's got money in the bank that he saved. He's got his own equipment. He's going to hustle. He wants to be where the action is. So I'm not sure where he'll end up. I'm sure he's going to be just fine. I'm not worried about him. In fact, I'm really proud of him. But, John, nice to know he's got you. Now, I have some other contacts. However, it's good to know he's got you. I'll take you up on that. All right, let me get out right now because I want to make sure that I am on time for my next guest. And then the beef segment, top of the hour. Hey, you know what? Did a really nice podcast yesterday, which is live. Don't look for it now, but when you get a chance, Keith Bulluck, former NFLer and Tennessee Titan. Great catch-up, great conversation. So look for that when you get a minute. All right, when we come back, former NFLer Robert Turbin joins us. He's an NFL on CBS analyst and a Super Bowl winner. That's next.
You're listening to The Jim Rome Show.
Welcome back. Jim Rome here. Southern California, we are live. Beef segment, top of the hour. But right now, as promised, we are joined by a Super Bowl winning running back. He played 8 years in the NFL for the Seahawks, the Browns, the Cowboys, and the Colts. He is a CBS Sports NFL game analyst, as well as a SiriusXM NFL radio analyst. It is Robert Turbin. Robert, great to have you on the show, dude. How you doing?
Dude, it's an honor to be on the show. I appreciate you having me. I'm doing great. Much better now that I get to chat with Jim Rome.
I love that, man. Dude, it's great to have you on the show. Really good to see you, man. You look great. I appreciate you saying that. Listen, you're getting ready to make your NFL broadcasting debut for CBS, announcing the Week 1 matchup between the Browns and the Jags. Let me start right there. Deshaun Watson is going to start Cleveland's preseason game against the Bears on Saturday. Do you expect him to be the Week 1 QB1 for the Browns?
I do expect him to be the Week 1 starter for the Cleveland Browns. He is the veteran. He is the guy with more experience, and he is the guy making more money. Let's just be honest, okay? So the Browns, they have to at least give him a shot to go out there and prove that he still can be, a starting caliber quarterback in the NFL. But I expect Shedeur Sanders eventually at some point to become the new quarterback for the Cleveland Browns at some point in the season.
All right, so Robert, what about Shedeur? Like, when you look at him and you look at the film, what do you see in him? And ultimately, what kind of ceiling does he have? Like, what kind of a player do you expect him to be in that league?
The thing that I love about Shedeur is that he's fearless. Is he going to make some mistakes? Yep. Is his technique not the cleanest? Footwork? Yep, not the cleanest. Still needs to clean that up. But at the end of the day, he's not afraid to make the play if the play is there to be made. And he's not afraid to make the plays down the field and trust his wide receivers. He's not afraid to use his feet. And that's the kind of quarterback that you want. You want a guy that's confident. You want a guy that's fearless. You want a guy that's going to take chances, all right, in a wise way. And I think the more he grows, the wiser he'll become at that quarterback spot. He's got a great coach in Todd Monken, and I think the sky's the limit.
Robert Turbin joining us. Robert, I know you're doing work also on the Jags. So when you look at them, they had a 13-win season last year, and Trevor Lawrence had a great year. You get Liam Cohen as a first-year head coach. Obviously, they bought in. They responded to him. That was a big year. What do you expect the following year? I mean, can they actually build on that, or would it be logical to think there's got to be some regression?
Well, that is logical, Jim. The thing that concerns me about the Jacksonville Jaguars is, are they going to be able to still have the same type of explosive run game behind Bashaw Tootin? Okay, so they're putting the trust in the young guy in the backfield. This is going to be a new experience for him, a new challenge for him. Not saying that he can't answer it. Obviously, the Jaguars are trusting him to be able to do it. But if you have a lack of run game, you're not going to get the same type of production out of Trevor Lawrence as you did last season. And so that could equal out to a team maybe having a step back. But I still think they're going to be very good. Their defense is much improved on paper. And so you have high expectations for the Jacksonville Jaguars for that reason.
Robert Turbin is joining us. Robert, so you spent part of 2015 with the Cowboys. Big Quinnen Williams got his bag right on Monday, and a historic contract extension. Dak Prescott's been going on about Gotti, the greatest offense there is. Maybe, I guess. But unfortunately, dude, their defense was one of the worst there was last year. But it is better. It is better this year. Are they improved enough to be a playoff team this year?
Yeah, I think they can win the division. I just wish Dak Prescott would just stop talking and just play. Let the fans create Gotti, or us in the media, create the nickname. The Rams didn't call themselves the greatest show on turf. Okay, we created that for them. Why? Because they were the greatest show on turf. Okay, so just go out there and play the games. We know you got the pieces on paper, but obviously you got to execute it on the field. But I do believe in the Cowboys this season.
Oh, man, preach. That's why we have a rule on this show. No self-glossing. It's something you have to earn. The show will give it to you. If you're a caller, do not call up and tell me what your nickname is. We'll let you know. So I'm with you. He should stop talking. What about, stop talking. How about Bears head coach Ben Johnson? Made some pretty bold statements this week and said, look, we want to win it all, but that's not enough. We want to win it all. We want to set the record for most points per game. We want to win the most consecutive games in the league. As a player, do you like hearing that from the coach? Or even in your seat, do you like hearing that from him? Or both?
If I'm in the building, Jim, I'm supporting coach, because that's just what we do. At the end of the day, right, wrong, or indifferent, we support our own. But I'm not in that building, okay? And the only thing that matters is hosting the Lombardi Trophy up at the end of the season, okay? Whether you're middle of the road, defense, offense. By the way, he didn't mention anything about the defense. That's the part that needs to improve for you guys. The stats don't matter. Only the wins, especially the one at the last game of the season, okay? So all the other statistical things that you want to go after, that's cool and everything, but it certainly shouldn't be, the highlight or the main focus for the Chicago Bears. That should be winning your division, winning the conference, and then winning the Super Bowl ultimately at the end of the year.
Robert, my man, I say this with all due respect. I mean this. With all due respect. That point that you just made, if you're in the building, you support coach. If you're in the building, you support coach. What happens if you're in a Super Bowl game and you've got a mother bleeper in the backfield that can win you that Super Bowl and coach decides to throw the ball? Do you, I mean this respectfully, I'm not trying to be a jerk. Do you support coach?
It makes it very tough after the result, after the result. It really does. It really does. That's when you start to just focus on what you can control, Jim. You know what I mean? But nobody's really ever gotten over it. I'll be honest with you on that, And what happens is you lose, you kind of lose some of that. That's what happened. That ended up what happened. We ended up losing trust, and the team broke apart, and we never got back there again. Okay, so in that situation, I'd probably say no, but coach calls the play. It's our job to run it.
Dude, I respect you so much for that answer. I respect you so much for that answer. I can't even imagine it. I always talk to athletes all the time about, do you remember the one that you won or the one that you lost? I already know the answer to that. Dude, there's so many unbelievable alphas in that locker room. I can't even imagine what the energy must have been like. Was it anger? Was it shock? Was it all the above? These are huge personalities and some of the biggest alphas I've ever seen in the game.
Man, it was all of the above. A lot of anger, a lot of cussing going on in the locker room afterwards. You had some laughter. Just like sarcastically. You had some sarcasm going on in the locker room. Of course, you had sadness. And, look, you certainly had some resentment, towards one person, if I'm being honest with you. And I don't think guys ever really got over that. We tried to sort of get over, because that's what football is all about. Even in the worst moments ever. The Tennessee Titans losing the Super Bowl on the 1 yard line, okay, on the slant route to Dyson. Can we come back the next year and overcome that adversity and do it again? And we tried, but the messaging just started to fall on deaf ears.
I appreciate you letting us in, dude. Sincerely. I really do appreciate that. When you think about the Seahawks teams, right, you had that legendary Legion of Boom defense, understanding that group is 1-1. Looking at this year's Texans defense, last year's Texans defense, LOB is 1-1. But when you look at the way these guys are flying around and not only shutting teams down offensively, but making them pay a price physically by bringing that lumber, does that defense at all remind you, the Texans, of the LOB?
Man, 100%. 100%. Different style, different playmakers on their team, but just as vicious, man. You talk about, you don't know what you're going to be able to accomplish offensively going into a game against the Houston Texans. Everything that you're doing, you have question marks about, especially in situational moments. And that's what you love about Houston's defense, man. So you hope that the offense, can take a step forward, C.J. Stroud to get back into form. But that's one of the best defenses to watch on film, no doubt.
Hey, Robert, with everything you have going on right now, you still are really active with your foundation, the Running for You Foundation. Tell me about that foundation. What are you doing with the foundation? Who are you looking to help out?
That supports folks who have cerebral palsy and multiple sclerosis. I had two sisters who were diagnosed with those diseases. One, unfortunately, passed away at a really young age. My oldest sister passed away of MS at the age of 21. I was about 6 years old. So I'm really passionate about those causes, and cerebral palsy. My other sister was born with a severe form of that, man. So we're doing some cool things in the community and with other nonprofits who support those same causes, and it's been great over the years.
I love that. So if people want more information, where do they go to get it?
Just go to my website, robertjturbin.com.
All right, dude, you fired up for that week one, that first NFL broadcast?
Oh, man, I can't tell you how much humility, I feel about, getting this opportunity. I know it's a weird deal and everything like that going on, but, man, Jacksonville week 1, NFL game. I'm back in the game, Jim.
I was going to say, dude, how good does it feel to still be in the game? I mean, the game that you love, the game did so much for you, and then you gave so much to. How good does it feel to still be in the game?
It feels great. It feels great. Studying tape, trying to get a feel for tendencies, and get in the booth. I got great coaching. CBS does a great job. Teaching young guys like me, how to become great. Like the Maddens of the world, et cetera. That's a long way to go, but you strive to be the best, right? The best version of yourself that you can be, man. And that's the only reason why that I'm even in this spot. Guys like Coach Martinez and other broadcast coaches that have really given me a lot of nuggets over my young career. And so to be in this spot, man, I'm super grateful. But I can't wait, man. You get to get a feel for the tendencies and what teams want to do on third down and how they're going to attack on this blitz and, how they're going to block it up and all the things, all the nuances of the game. Man, I can't wait.
Oh, my dude, you're going about it the right way. You will prep for it, and you'll be ready. And anecdotally, you'll be right. You'll be in a good spot. And I worked for that company for a long time, and I was on the NFL Today on CBS for a lot of years. It is a good place. You're right. They're good people. Robert, good to see you, dude. Let's make sure we do this again soon. It was great to have you on the show, and I appreciate you.
Hey, anytime, man. Thanks a lot.
That was fun. Robert Turbin joining us. That was fun, and that was real. That's why he's going to be great at what he does. Because he's going to take it seriously. He's going to prep for it, and he's going to have fun, but he's going to be real. That's what you want, right? When you turn on a broadcast, what do you want? You want people that are prepared, that are experienced, that have anecdotes and real experiences, and they'll share them, and they're real. And that's what that conversation was. All right, when we come back, the beef segment. Hit us up. What do you want to beef about? Hit me up on the phones, 1-800-636-8686. If you want to write your beef in, go ahead and do that on X. Jump up in chat. Email us a beef. Anything you want to beef about, except for those two things that you can't beef about, go ahead and do so. Beef segment coming up next. Again, phone calls first, then the write-in beefs. I'll run that thing as long as it's good. All right, you're in the jungle. I am Jim Rome. Stay tuned. Third hour coming up. Of course, I'm talking about Bruce Feldman. Bruce, always great to have you on the show. Thank you very much for making time. Bruce, how you doing?
Great to be on with you, Jim. Thanks for having me.
Okay, Bruce, it is that time of year, of course. Your annual Freaks List for The Athletic just dropped in as usual. It's an amazing read. For those who don't know, Bruce, let's take one step back. How long have you been doing this list? And then how would you define what a freak is in football terms?
Well, I've been doing it for over 20 years, and I think it started in 2005. And really, I was looking at the time I was doing a college football blog when I was working at ESPN Magazine for ESPN.com. Looking for stuff to write about in the dead of the off season. And I'd always heard about, it wasn't just like Randy Moss or Javon Curse, guys who had the nickname of the Freak, but it was always like strength coaches or coaches who would talk about, there would be like one guy in the program they would always say is like a freak. And it could be like the 330-pound defensive lineman who could do backflips, or some wide receiver who could, squat triple his body weight, or something that was like crazy in the weight room. Didn't necessarily mean they were the best football player. It just meant they were the freakiest athlete. So I started out with 10, and it kind of took off. And then over the years, when I was a sideline reporter for Fox, I'd be on the field pregame, and I would always have NFL scouts who'd be down there who would come up and talk to me about the Freaks List. And I couldn't get over that, how many people inside football really had, made it like appointment reading. And so it became this thing where a lot of NFL draft fans and fanatics who maybe aren't huge college football fans, but it was a way to kind of get in front of the process. So people just kind of ate it up, and now we're at 101, and there's Division II players and FCS players and all sorts of people all over college football.
I was just going to say, Bruce, great explanation. I was going to say, you started with 10. I was going to make that point. You're up to 101 this year, and they all have great stories, so we could start pretty much anywhere. But the first guy that I want to ask you about is fullback Andrew Miller, Division II, Harding University. How did he land on your radar and ultimately make the list?
Well, I'm reaching out to every school that plays football in the country, every college. And I know Harding University, it's in Arkansas. They're really good. They won a Division II national title a few years back, almost won it last year. This is their best player, and he's arguably the best Division II football player in the country. He runs in the 4.4s and the 40. He bench presses almost 400 pounds. He scored 28 touchdowns last year. But they said he's not just a freak in the weight room and on the football field. He loves to go out into like snake-infested water and corral snakes and hunt snakes. And so I was like, really? And then they sent me the photos of it. And it's not just snakes, it's also snapping turtles and all kinds of other stuff that is in the waters in Arkansas that he's wading into. So his story is one that people have really literally grabbed onto. The picture of him with all these like serpents in his hands is pretty wild when I saw it. And again, he's also a great football player, and I suspect he'll have an NFL career, and as long as he survives the snakes.
Right. That is insane. Bruce Feldman joining us. All right. So, Bruce, you've got a defensive tackle who weighs 327. He's got a 35-inch vert. He's been clocked running faster than 20 miles per hour. What can you tell us about him? Who is it?
It's Amari Washington. He decided to come back for another year at Oregon. As you said, he's 330 pounds. And for people who don't really know what the mile per hour is for a human being, for him to run almost 21 miles per hour would be impressive for 230 pounds, not just 330 pounds. And the vertical jump, what he did, he's also a really good football player. He broke up as many passes as any defensive lineman in college football did last year. I think that was 8. He's very disruptive. He decided to come back for one more year, and he's a big reason why I think the Oregon Ducks have a legit shot to win a national title this year.
It is time to beef. What's going on? Just getting organized here. Love the way Turbo showed up. That was fun. Good to get a new voice in there. Love that personality. Love that energy. All right, now moving on to the beef segment. We go to hour number 3. I think you know how this works, right? You can call. You can beef about anything you want. As long as it's not those two things you're not supposed to beef about. 1-800-636-8686. Over the course of any week, I think to myself, that's my beef. That's the beef I'm going to start with. And then we get to Thursday, and then I don't remember the beef. That aggravates me. That's almost a beef onto itself. But I'm not going to carry around a notepad just to write down beefs because I'm trying to keep it positive. But maybe it will come to me mid-segment. Hit me with your beefs really quickly. The only parameters, get in, get out. State your beef, keep moving, keep it rapid fire. If you're writing in beefs or you're chatting beefs, I will get there. Do not worry about it. All right? We have a standing agreement. Well, me and this guy, or me and myself. If this guy shows up on my screen the day of the beef, until he gives me reason to believe otherwise, he will set the tone every single week. We go to Charleston. My thanks to my buddies at Old Trapper. Miles in Charleston. Miles, my brother, what is your beef?
Hey, Rome, I have a huge beef with the Little League World Series, and not even the games itself, the contrived, forced, inane programming that a four-letter network is forcing upon all of us when there's great baseball, there's all kinds of other things going on. Show old shows of the Sklar brothers on cheap seats. Get 11-year-olds off my TV out, Jim.
Yeah, there's something to that, right? It obviously does well, or they wouldn't have been doing it for decades. But at least the kids don't react badly to it. At least they're able to handle it. What 11-year-old wouldn't be able to handle being on national television? Of course they act like that. He's not watching it. And I'm sure we'll get some blowback on Miles, because we always do, about how it's the greatest programming there is. 1-800-636-8686. Would I? Should I? Could I? It's awfully early in the segment. Awfully early to have that train derail. Let's go to Menifee. V in the fee. Yo, V, what's your beef, dude?
Yo, Jimothy, first off, quick shout out to my boy Nick. Nick, best of luck to you, brother. You're the king of the shower beer, and R. Kelly's the king of the golden shower beer. But my beef is with grown adults. These grown...
That's not a good call. No. You don't like that call. I don't like that call. Not a very good call.
V, it was not a mistake that never saw the light of day. I know you tried to use that war over and over and over again, and you probably were wondering, why is Rome not reading my war? Because it's that. So don't sneak that in as a beef. That's not a beef. All right? That's a war. A really unfortunate war. A really reckless war.
Over again.
It just know that it was not a coincidence that you would never had that on the air, V. So don't be going end around and sneaking around Tom and trying to slip it in a phone call when you know that we have manually been deleting it over and over and over and over again.
Over.
Like I said, way too early in the segment, so now I have to reset the entire segment. This is the beef segment. There's certain things, beef about anything you want, except those few things. That would be one of them. Why don't we stay local to see if we can get back on track? Not that anything's local to Menifee, wherever the hell Menifee is, V. I'm a Southern California native, and I have no idea where Menifee is. And honestly, I really don't want to know. Let's go to Dana Point. I know where Dana is. Love Dana Point. Jay in Dana Point. Jay, I would say that's a tough act to follow, but it's not at all. What is your beef?
Yo, Rome, my beef is with people in Laguna Niguel that say they're from Laguna. You don't own an 800-square-foot, $3 million house. You don't drive your golf cart to the sand. You're an inlander just like V and the Fee. Out.
Bro, well done. We used to own a house in Laguna, and the countryside that I live in right now is not that far from Laguna Niguel. I know exactly of which he speaks, and he's not wrong. If you live in Laguna Niguel, stop telling people you live in South Laguna or even North Laguna or just Laguna. You live in Laguna Niguel, which there's nothing wrong with, but it's not Laguna. To his point, you don't live in a $3 million, 800-foot box with a view of the sea, and you don't have that golf cart life in Laguna Niguel. All right, back on track. 1-800-636-8686. You know I love the Berg. Lyle in Pittsburgh. Lyle, what's going on? What's your beef?
Hey, Rummy, thanks for the vine. I got a beef with trying to explain this show. So the other night, I'm out with a lady friend, and she goes, all right, tell me more about this show. Like, what's it about? I'm over here drawing a blank like,
You there? You're done? Yeah, I guess you drew a blank. Lyle's great. So Lyle's like, I got to beef with myself because I'm out with a lady friend, and she says, tell me more about this show. And then I'm like drawing a blank, and then he just draws a blank and stops talking. Well, bro, I know why you can't explain the show. You can't even get through your beef. But then again, the show is not easily explainable. I get that too. Come on now. The beef segment is easy to explain. You have a beef, you state that beef, you keep moving. I know you have beef. The show is like built on beefs. Let's go to Iowa. Craig in Iowa. It's good to have you. Craig, what is your beef?
Hey, Jim, I got beef with all the Google/Skynet AI data centers going up across the country. It's like, have these people not seen the Terminator movies? I'm out, but I'll be back.
Bro, I got a beef with you making that phone call from underwater.
I'll be back.
Let's go now, callers. Normally, you get me to the end of the segment easily without even trying. Today is not one of those days. 1-800-636-8686. Mississippi. Hell yes. Where you been, Will? Let's go to Mississippi. Will in Mississippi. Good to have you. Will, what's your beef?
Hey, long time, third time, my friend. My beef was with the trooper this morning. They tried to had the handheld on the shoulder of the road trying to get me going 72 into 70, or seeing if my suspension was so low that I was doing a drug mule operation. But that's all I got. That's my beef. And the guy almost got hit a couple of times, and he missed me by 30 years.
Will, did he get you? Did he pull you over?
No, he missed me. He got the guy behind me.
Good.
He was going 73.
My man, nice job, Will. Yeah, that would have sucked. Yeah, you know how fast you were going? Yes, officer, 72. Right. You know what the speed limit is? Yes, 70. Right. Give me your license. Your proof of insurance. What? Come on, man. You got nothing better to do? Here's my dude. What? My guy, this guy, okay, I want to say Kevin has shown a lot more range, but in reality, he had to. How many times could you complain about your customers before finally running out of complaints? But I'm so glad that he continues to call because he always makes it better. Kevin in the Bay Area. Now, the beauty of it is, I used to look forward to the phone calls knowing exactly what I was going to get. Now I look forward to the telephone calls, never knowing what I'm going to get. Kevin in the Bay Area. Kevin, my dude, what is your beef?
My beef was with people that eat out at restaurants. They've had their dessert and coffee, and they just keep yapping away. Get the hell out. People are waiting for your table. Oh, in Rome, normally I would order a steak and a cocktail, but I can't afford it, so I just go with a side salad and water.
My man, that is so funny. It takes, not only do I agree with that, it takes a certain kind of bag to just post up when you know, like people are just standing around waiting. You don't care. You got nowhere to go, nowhere to be. You've already paid your bill. You're just sitting around. Yeah, they're trying to turn that table, yo. Everybody's pissed. The people waiting are pissed. The restaurant's pissed. They're trying to turn that table, but you got nowhere to go. Yeah, and hey, Kevin, I know you're only going to get the water and the salad. Maybe that's why they don't care that the others are staying there, because they actually ordered an entree. I remember once when I was on ESPN2, I went to dinner with the producer and the associate producer, and we were one of our first trips to Super Bowl, and I'm living large, man. I'm on TV, got a little paycheck, and they want to have a little meeting at the start of the week, talk about how the week's going to go. So we go, and I'm like, let's go to Morton's. I had this thing back in the day. Not anymore. But whenever we went to a new town on the road, we would just go to Morton's because you knew exactly what you were going to get. I don't know why I thought that was a thing, but it was just a tradition we had, and it started like right around that time. Homeboy is at Morton's Steakhouse now. And it comes time to order. I looked at the menu, and they're like, what can I get you, Mr. Rome? I'm like, I know exactly what I want. I'm going to go New York. I'm going to go blue cheese, crumbled, tomatoes. And I'm going to have baked potato. No. I'm going to go hash browns. Yeah, man. Yeah, let's do this. Homeboy next to me goes, I'll have a baked potato. Okay, so that's interesting. What steak or fish would you like? Just the baked potato. What? Bro, only a baked potato? He was not throwing down. He was you, Kevin. Kevin, at least you got the salad. That guy just went starch. Weird. Probably not worth the story. Let's go to... Let's go to Oregon. Jeff in Oregon. Good to have you, Jeff. What is your beef?
Bro, my beef is with the name Ryan. And thanks to the show, anytime somebody says their name is Ryan, all I say is, it's Ryan, not Ryan. I'm out.
Yeah, I know.
It's not Ryan, it's Ryan.
It can be confusing.
It's not Ryan, it's
KB
Ryan.
set that gal straight.
It's not Ryan, it's Ryan.
That was in the category of Jungle Tourette's beefs.
It's not Ryan, it's Ryan.
It's not Ryan, it's Ryan.
It's not Ryan, it's Ryan.
Yeah, I know it sounds like Eric in Orlando, but it's not. That was KB back in the day talking about Ryan Sandberg.
This isn't like one of those, I'm drunk, I'm handing you the keys things, okay? Because that means I'm drunk and I'm handing you the keys. And is that after Ryan Sandberg?
All right,
here?
see, that last sentence that you just said proves that you did
Is
it.
that after Ryan Sandberg?
It's not Ryan, it's Ryan.
Incredible. Okay, first of all, we haven't gone long form on that in years, decades even. What would we give to have the video of that? KB on MTV back in the day, talking to that drunk gal and setting her straight. She's like, she sounded like that gal at the Grove, didn't she? She sounded like that gal at the Grove. It's not like Ryan. It's he goes, it's not Ryan, it's Ryan.
It's not Ryan, it's Ryan.
It's not always free, but
She
It's
sounds
not
like
Ryan,
her.
it's Ryan.
so yeah, alcohol.
This isn't like one of those
Okay, but you can get that.
things, okay? Because that means I'm drunk and I'm handing you the keys. And
See everyone from other schools that you know, and you run into.
All right,
Right
see,
here.
that last sentence that you just said proves that you did
Is
it.
that after Ryan Sandberg?
It's not Ryan, it's
Why are you
Ryan.
getting so mad at
Don't
him?
get me wrong. Like,
Is
I wouldn't
that
actually spare
after
myself
Ryan
a cup of
Sandberg?
hot water.
It's not Ryan, it's
Easy.
Ryan.
He actually handled that much better than I am, and I'm just reacting to some audio from something from like 20 years ago. 1-800-60. Well done, Alvy. Great poll. I'd give anything to see the video. We get work on the video during the break. It's got to be somewhere, right? 1-800-636-8686. Arizona, Robert. Hey, Robert, what's your beef?
Hey, Romy, first off, it's an honor. First time, long time since 97. My beef is going to the grocery store. You spend $120. You come out with 75 bags. You bring them home. And then when you got a wife that doesn't want to throw them away, next thing you know, you got 6 cabinets full of these plastic bags. I'm afraid if the house catches on fire, it's going to take 4 days to put the damn thing out. I'm out.
My man, nice energy. Finally showing up. Depends. Sometimes those bags are valuable. I hate to say it, but when we used to have cats before they died, the bags were valuable, man, because the cats crap every single day. And by the way, markets don't have bags. I don't mind paying for the bags. Honestly, that's not my beef. When they charge me whatever they charge me for the bags, what am I going to do? Carry it out like this? I'd rather pay for the bag. It's when they don't have bags at all. Like when we go every year at the end of the year to Mexico, the first thing we do when we get off the airplane is stop by the mega store or whatever the market is that's in Punta Mita. They actually don't have bags. Janet packs bags in her suitcase, so we have bags. They don't even have them for purchase. You have to bring your own bags. That's my beef. And just charge me. Charge me for the bags so I don't have to check bags or bring plastic bags to Mexico in order to get to the house. All right, let's break. Okay, we're at halftime. When we come back, the written beefs. Do not hang up if you're on the phones. We're going to end with call-in beefs. It's been a wild ride so far. Speaking of rides, if you ride, you already know it only takes a second for things to go wrong out there. What a lot of riders do not realize is it only takes that one drink to change your whole life. Alcohol slows your reaction time. It throws off your balance. It gives you a false sense of confidence. That combination on a motorcycle, that's dangerous. This Labor Day, when you hit the open road for some well-deserved R&R, enjoy the ride, have fun, but more importantly, never ride while impaired. The bottom line, if you hit the bottle, don't roll the throttle. Planning ahead is important, because if you wait until you've been drinking to make decisions, you might not make the best one. Ride with a clear head, call a ride, stay over, or hand the keys to somebody sober, because if you don't, you're not just risking your life, you are facing a DUI, which can cause you to lose your driver's license, your bike, your job, and more. Ride smart, ride safe, and remember, ride sober or get pulled over. It is paid for by NHTSA.
You're listening to The Jim Rome Show.
It is the second half of the beef segment, the write-in portion. See if we can keep up with the callers. That Fat Kids loves cake. Jim, my beef, is with the clones on chat with a bad take. They get a reaction, so they put it up again in all caps. It wasn't funny, time dork. Brian C. and SP. I have a beef with the smug look authors have on their faces for the picture they use in their book. You're not that pretentious. Mike and Telluride, my beef is with idiot clones that have zero comprehension of how incredibly talented, legendary, and great a band like Rush is. Absolutely ridiculous. War Necromancer. That has legs. That's gone on all week.
Honestly, it was ridiculous.
Because Ken and SA was going to see them and was pre-gaming and showed us a picture. He was in Toronto to see them. Kind of a flex. Actually, everything about Ken is a flex, but it was cool. What I was not prepared for was all the hate and pushback on Rush. So people are still fighting that fight. It says, my beef is with all these lunch vultures here in the office. Oh, what are we having today? Oh, that looks good. Wow, that smells good. These idiots make me blow money eating out. I got an idea. Instead of being on day 26 of some browning arugula and a dried up chicken breast, treat yourself. There's a plethora of good food out there, losers. Eric S., you're making this guy eat out because he can't bring in good food. War Bums, quote, my beef is with fat guys not wearing anything underneath a t-shirt. Either hit those moves with a beater or hit the cardio. Either way, stop the indecency. Vincent Fresno, my beef, the tool in every meeting, funeral, or wedding that doesn't put their phone on silent. Rome, my beef is with my employer. I am a recruiter, and firing people is a part of the gig I hate most. Having to wait until close of business to do it makes it even worse. Matt in Tampa, ex-Yinzer. At Slave to the 405 is in. Hey, Jim, my beef is with the waiter who wants to give you a 5-minute speech about the specials of the day before offering to take my drink order. I didn't book a table so I could hear you talk. I mean, does that happen? Almost every waiter or waitress says, can I take your drink order? Before saying, do you want to hear the specials, right? Hey, Sean, otherwise, just interrupt them. Do you want to hear today's specials? No. No. What I want to hear is what kind of vodka you have. What do you have on tap? Not a very good call. Susie, try it, Sean. In fact, don't even politely interrupt them. Just hit them with a old school jungle manual buzzer. Would you like to hear... Hello, sir. Would you like to hear today's specials? Oh, I guess you don't want to hear them.
Bombay Sapphire. I don't like that call.
Susie, you're welcome, Sean. Susie from Wisco. Hi, Jim. I have a beef with coworkers who use the phrase brain fart. My first reaction is gross. You need to lock in or keep it SBD until you can regroup. We're keeping it classy. Sean in Aliso Viejo. My beef is with dog owner who refuses to put their dog on a leash only to tell you, don't worry, he's friendly. Mr. Jingles 007. My beef is with my wife, waking up everyone in the house when she got home from work and asking, where is her medicine? Hey, lady, keep up with your own medicine. It has your name on it. Hey, lady. My beef this week My beef this week is with my seatbelt, Romy. I don't understand how 1 out of 5 times I somehow pull it with a force equal to a Kyle Shanahan cell phone drop as it rips out of my hand back to its resting position. Like, seriously, am I the only one this happens to? Pisses me off almost as bad as people with BO. Now I'm done. Ryan in Myrtle Beach.
Because it's confusing.
But just so I'm clear,
It's not Ryan, it's
people
Ryan.
with BO pisses you off more, though, right? Romy, my anti-beef is with the 3 cars in the same... An anti-beef? This isn't the anti-beef segment. My anti-beef is with the 3 cars in the same teller line at the bank while I pull up laughing to one of the 3 other open teller lanes. Losers! Tommy in the 316, former 714er. Rome, my beef. Exotic wild bird food. All this got me are gangs of rats with wings, a.k.a. doves, who loiter like panhandlers in my backyard. Paul in Tucson. Damn, Paul. You're playing a pretty exotic game. So you bought the exotic wild bird food, but no exotics came in. Just the rats with the wings, just the domestics. I can play off that one. I've got a beef with my beloved Jano. My beef is she's put up a birdhouse in the backyard. Jano, we don't need any more birds. We have glass that goes along the back of the backyard because it's windy. So much bird crap. Why do we need more of that? Good news is none of them are taking to Jano's birdhouse. Jano's not happy about that. We don't need a birdhouse. We have a birdhouse. Hi, Jim. My beef is with guys who think that they have to wear sandals or Crocs with no socks because their wife or girlfriend is doing so. It looks so non-manly. Plus, men were not meant to show their feet off. Stop being girly and put some regular shoes on. Dave in Middle Georgia. Penguin 448. Today's beef is with an ex-girlfriend and family member who keep asking for money. That's all you parasites did when we were together. Now go piss off once and for all. I like it. 2 hams, $20. Hey, let me ask you something, bro. How much would 2 hams cost? Oh, $20. 2 hams, $20. My beef is with the tools and knobs who go to trivia every week. Find a better hobby. Unwar going to trivia at a bar or brewery weekly and not even drinking. I hear that. JRD 816 clone. My beef is with a-holes who have been talking about fantasy football since May.
Fantasy alert, fantasy alert, fantasy alert,
You mean like Alvin?
Dude, no.
Fantasy alert, you mean like rank?
Fantasy alert, fantasy alert, fantasy
Abel in the
alert,
ATX.
fantasy alert.
Jim, I got a beef with The Who. Why the hell is that song called Baba O'Reilly? Doesn't say it once in the song. Meanwhile, he says Teenage Wasteland 300 times. Get it right, Daltrey. Abel, what are we doing here? And why are you putting that on Raj?
Get it right.
Pete wrote everything. Get it right, Abel.
Get it right.
I mean, at least you got the band right. Bro, don't take a run at one of my 5 favorite songs ever. One of the great rock anthems ever. Who cares what it's called? Honestly. Beautiful, man. What a great song.
It's the biggest event in the history of all radio.
And then he tried to kill it. Literally tried to wreck the song for me. Love it.
Unique, and it cannot be replicated.
Abel, you keep this up, you will go the way of Dino. You will be unable, Abel, to participate in this show. Bro, don't do that. I've seen this happen before to solid enough contributors that all of a sudden just go to the dark side, either intentionally or unintentionally, just to get a reaction. And you're just trying me or pressing buttons. Ask that fat guy in the 720. Ask him how that went. Ask Eric how that went. They're not welcome around here. Abel, do you like this show? Do you like being able? Don't be unable in the ATX.
Minor league mother is what you are.
Put me in a bad way, man. Let's go to the phones. Get me to the break. Get me to the end. 1-800-636-8686. ABQ Albuquerque, one of the original 4 affiliates, and still there. John in the ABQ. Hey, John, what's your beef?
Hey, Jim. Long time, second time. I got beef with setting close of business Friday deadlines. We all know nobody's looking at this thing over the weekend unless you own the deadline or you got to meet the deadline. Give us till Monday morning. I'm out.
I got you, dude. I feel you. 1-800-636-8686. You know, I was wondering about this. Where is Myrtle? Myrtle Beach always comes in. Somebody from Myrtle always calls. And I was thinking, how weird. We have not heard from Myrtle yet. Here we are. Phil, Myrtle Beach. Phil, what's your beef?
Jim, my beef is with overly angry and entitled pedestrian guy. I'm making a right on red this morning, and I don't immediately see this vagrant and his dog crossing the street. I said, oh, my God, I'm sorry. And he can see me saying I'm sorry, and he's looking at me like he wants to kill me, my wife, and child. I'm like, dude, this was not about to be vehicular manslaughter. You're fine. You had to walk about 6 inches out of your way. I even gave you the I'm sorry signal, and you're still looking at me like I committed a mortal sin. Come on, bro. I'm out.
Nice job, Phil. I mean, he even called him a vagrant. He didn't go with a bum. A vagrant and a dog. Mean mugging him because initially he did not see him. I know exactly what he's talking about, right? They're looking back, and he's like not even walking at this point. Like, yo, man, is that how it is? No, that's not how it is. I just apologized. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Myrtle. Let's go to North Jersey. My dude, Ari. Ari, what is your beef?
Howdy, James. Today my beef is trying to abort a sneeze with a mouthful of food or toothpaste for that matter. It's a split-second decision to organize thoughts of swallowing, breathing, or just letting the expulsion fly, duck for cover, and deal with the carnage. War, truly laughing out loud at D's Clayton Kershaw mouth breather, dude. See ya, Audi.
Well done, Ari.
Laugh out loud.
Nice use of the word expulsion. I'd walk off on that, but there's no way. Not when this guy's on deck. Not when this guy's on deck. I mean, Ari, that was good. But it probably won't be this good. Because I'm going, like, this guy kind of knows. I think this guy knows, okay. You know how we always start with Miles in Charleston? I think my man, Dre, in Providence, knows that we should walk off on him. Then I know how to bookend this segment every single week. Dre in Providence. Dre, what's going on?
Yeah, man. What's up, baby?
How you doing, dude?
Jimmy, I'm doing all right, man. But I got to tell you, man, my beef is with my neighbors down in my lake house. You know, we go there to just to relax, man. But every time I turn around, they want to have a potluck. And I think they do it because my wife's the only one that can cook. Because when we get done, man, the bowl is usually so clean, we just throw it right back on the shelf, right? And I got to tell you, the ringleader, her cooking, Romy, I'm not even kidding you, her cooking is so bad, man. I think the flies got together and fixed that hole in the screen.
My man Dre. I like how he's got a thread now. He's got not only beefs, but beefs about things that happen at the lake house. He's like, man, why are we always having potlucks? Because my wife is the only one who can cook. And then they lick that pot so clean we can put it right back up on the shelf without even washing it. The flies want to fix the hole in the screen because they don't even want to come in and eat that neighbor's food. It's so bad. Way to be, Dre. I'm telling you, I left a lot. Every line is lit. Every line is lit right now. I got to walk it off, though. We need a break. Nice job. My thanks to my pals at Old Trapper. Hot and spicy. Teriyaki. Peppered. 104. Just choose your favorite kind. I eat it every single day. Why did they name this song Baba O'Reilly? Abel, my guy, don't. I don't care how many times they say Teenage Wasteland and how few times they say Baba O'Reilly. None. I know. You know how I know, Abel? Because I've listened to that song, I think, 20,000 times in my life, including last night. I listen to it almost every single day when I work out. It's on my tracks. I've never heard them once say Baba O'Reilly. It's true. But at least you didn't call them the Alan Parsons Project. So you got that going for you.
Going strong as ever.
Of all the things that James Kelly has jacked up in his career on this show, nothing will ever come close to that.
Second Alvin hits the
Just
Alan
the
Parsons
build
Project
up.
song. And
I
oh my
love
gosh,
the smack off. It's the
I think
greatest
it is
thing in
even
the
more
entire
this year than
genre.
ever
And then when
before for
Alvin
some weird reason, too.
hammers the Alan Parsons Project. Wait, what did you just say?
Did you just say that when he hits the Alan Parsons song?
Alan Parsons Project song to start the show.
I like the way he corrects me,
Chicago
too.
Bowl song.
Yeah, no, James. All right, when we come back, one last segment, some final thoughts. Do not go anywhere. We're not done yet.
You're listening to The Jim Rome Show.
chat is chanting for another beef segment. You just had 40 minutes. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll leave the plastic tower of beef up for one more segment. How's that? Would that placate you? Look, I'm really not trying to talk about man boobs on the show every day. In fact, I'm never trying to talk about man boobs on any show ever. Yet somehow the moobs just keep coming up because they just keep falling out. Earlier this week, we saw the Vikings offensive line showing off their chesticles while serenading Kyler Murray on his birthday. And of course, the clones are constantly bringing Hoodman's busty, supple walk of shame up all the time. Silk's moobs are always coming up. Even my guy Shawnee, the Cablinasian's man cleavage, comes up on the show. Shawnee, sorry about that. But apparently, the next one up on Mount Moobmore. Paul Skeens? My dude, Paul Skeens. I didn't see that one coming, but it's a lesson to be learned. You do not want to be caught with your moobs out when you're in the middle of an inexplicable pitching slump and a velo drop. But that, unfortunately, is exactly what happened to Skeens this week when he was photographed at the beach with his girlfriend, leading to all of Pittsburgh and half the internet to ring the fat alarm. Check the pics. Uh-oh. If you're only listening, we are showing the two lovebirds right now. And by that, I mean Paul and Livy. Not the right moob and the left moob. Honestly, I don't even find the guy that mooby. But I'm not a guy who judges moobs. But it seems more like he's got the gut hanging over the bathing suit to me. That it's not a gut that looks like it's ever encountered a crunch, ever. That gut looks like it's run into plenty of beers, but not a single sit-up. But then again, what does it matter? What does it even matter? Because very concerned Pirates fan is now connecting Skeens' dad bod to his dramatic velo dip. And nobody can deny the dramatic velo dip. That's what's really bizarre. It's real and it's bizarre. This post is from @CodifyBaseball. It says it all, quote, 98-plus MPH pitches thrown by Paul Skeens in each of his 78 career big league starts. And if you run it down, multiples, and then you get to the very end, 823-211-030000. To sum it up, he has started his career throwing at least 30 98-mile-per-hour pitches per start. Now we're at a point where he barely throws any ever. So what the hell is going on here? How do you go from the most dominant flamethrower in all of baseball and the future of pitching to this? It's the biggest question in the sport right now. Things are so messed up. The dude got yanked from his last start on Tuesday after only 65 pitches. And his response was basically to shrug and say, "Wish I could have gone more, but it is what it is." End of quote. That's a direct quote. That's not a paraphrase. And that doesn't exactly throw off the kind of ace vibes that you would expect from that caliber of pitcher. So what is going on? I don't know. I wish I had a sexier take for you, but I don't know any more than anybody else doesn't know. All of baseball is equally confused. I don't think it's the moves. I think that it's something more mechanical, especially since Skeens says that the velo drop is intentional. This is where he goes Skeens on us, that actually it's intentional. He repeatedly said the velo dip is a choice. He's not hurt. It's not the moves. It's just a very strange choice, right? Why would you choose that, considering it's leading to the worst results of his career? Granted, an ERA of 3.88, not bad. But it sure as hell is not the 1.96 and the 1.97, the sub-2 ERAs that he put up in his first two seasons. That's why Pittsburgh is freaking out right now. That's why they want to know what the hell happened to the guy. That's why they're blaming the moves. He says it's a choice. Weird choice to stop throwing gas so you become just like everybody else and your manager doesn't feel the need to leave you in to make more than 65 pitches when none of them are hitting high velo anymore. Make that make sense, because none of it does. And frankly, neither does the theory, though, that his dad bod and his man boobs and his beer gut are what's holding him back. There have been a lot of dominant pitchers that were not exactly Dodonises. Look at. You don't have to be a Dodonis to be a dominant pitcher. Case in point, was he a Dodonis when he was sub-2 with his ERA? No. That said, if you're in sudden steep decline and your velo is off a cliff and you don't look like the same guy anymore who looked generational only a couple of years earlier, you probably don't want to get caught by the tabloids with your moobs hanging out. Whether or not your moves have anything to do with it, it's still a rough look. Personally, I don't think his problem is the moves.
I personally believe.
I can't eliminate the possibility, and I also can't deny this statement. The moves are definitely not helping. They may not be hurting him, but they can't be helping him either, and he shouldn't be showing them off on the beach, man.
That's not
At least
helping,
not
kids.
until he
It's
can
hurting
hit
them.
98 on the gun even once a game, when he used to do it 30-plus times every game.
Talking about it on the radio, man.
But the moves are once again a topic on the show. I don't want them to be, but they are. O'Reilly Auto Parts gets you back to savings. Buy 5 quarts of Syntec full synthetic motor oil and get a free MicroGuard Select oil filter. Limits do apply. Save 20% on a MicroGuard or MicroGuard Select engine air filter when purchased with this Syntec special. It's not always the moves. You can't blame everything on the moves, all right? My thanks to Tyler Dunn, James Kelly, Turbo, Robert Turbin. Like UNC, how many problems is there with the UNC football program? I could blame that on any number of things, and I have. None of them are on the moves. The guy, but not the moves. The moves don't make those recruiting decisions. Anyway, see you tomorrow. We're out.